Then we went into our dear joint audit. Let's start favorite area. Joint audit is basically very nice. 4+1 we have. So we have first in 4+1 we have this question number 1, 2, 3, 4, and this fourth question has a hidden +1 also. Okay. So let's start. We are now doing advantages of joint audit. Let's start. We are doing our right hand actions. What are the advantages of joint audit? Let's do it. Please tell me. Sharing of expertise, mutual consultation, lower workload, lower staff development cost, lower cost to carry out the work, better quality of performance, improved service to the client, local firms, and healthy competition. Next is, what are the disadvantages of joint audit? We are doing left hand actions. Please tell me. Fees will be shared, psychological problems, superiority complex, problem of coordination, common concerns are neglected, uncertainty of liability. When are the joint auditors jointly and severally liable? They are jointly and severally liable when bad by all, FSAR comply. Let's do it. Work done by all, agreement by all, and decision by all. Let's do quick example giving in this. Work done by all. In the class, we had done the example that if joint auditors have divided the work amongst themselves between the three of them in fixed assets, in between assets, liabilities, and P&L account, the notes to accounts area becomes the common area, common concern. So that is the work done by all. So for if there is a mistake regarding the notes to accounts area, all three joint auditors will be jointly and severally liable. An agreement by all. Any matter brought up by one auditor amongst which all the joint auditors are in agreement, this is called as agreement by all. Decision by all was regarding decision regarding the nature, timing, extent of audit procedures. So while planning the audit work, if some mistake is found, then all three joint auditors will be liable. As per our example, we have taken 3 joint auditors. That's why joint auditors can be 2 or more. Okay. But if a proper execution is not done by any one of the joint auditors, then only that specific joint auditor is liable. Okay? Whether FS complies with the relevant statute, whether audit report complies with the relevant statute. This is what they'll be liable regarding these matters if financial statement is not as per AFRF and joint auditors do not tell about it only, then all joint auditors will be jointly and severally liable. Audit report is not complying with the SA 700 format, then all joint auditors will be jointly and severally liable. Okay. Next. Special consideration. Let's sing the song. This is our Belagiddu. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, start. Involved in planning overall audit strategy. Discuss and develop a joint audit plan. Identify the division, reporting objectives, communicate teams' efforts, preliminary engagement, activities, NT of resources, assess the RMMM, document the entity, common engagement letter, work allocation. That is basically this answer. How does it cover? Very simple. Joint auditors should be involved in planning of their work. They should involve their key team members also. They should establish the overall audit strategies so that what areas to cover, when to cover, and in which manner the audit should be done. That regarding that we have clarity. Then they should discuss and develop a joint audit plan which will cover the following areas. They should identify the division of work and what common areas we will do. Okay. Next is reporting objectives. What is the main goal of making the audit report? That should be known. Next, they should communicate among all joint auditors the factors that are significant in directing the engagement team's effort. So what should be done so that the team's effort gives the best result? They should communicate with each other, the joint auditors. Preliminary engagement activities. Before the audit work starts, what we should do? Preliminary engagement activity. Nature, timing, and extent of resources. In the class, we made 2 arrows. Human resources, IT resources. We should ensure which resource will be useful, when they'll be useful, in how much extent we can use that resource. That we should know. Okay. Next, we had done, you should assess the RMM. That is basically risk of material misstatement. That is nothing but 315. Now you know very well, it is 315. Identifying and assessing risk of material misstatement. Next is we'll document the nature, timing, and extent of the common procedures and common area and the specific allotted areas. Joint auditor should obtain a common contract between the auditor and the client is called engagement letter. And finally, the work allocation document after the work has been divided should be signed by all the joint auditors and communicated to those charged with governance. In the exam, if they ask you that +1 means if they ask you what will you include while discussing and developing a joint audit plan? You will include only this as the answer, point number A to E of question number 3. Okay, so be very careful about this. Okay, this completes our area in relation to joint audit. So joint audit we have done question number 1, 2, 3, 4 and plus 1 here. We have done that now.